Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. It's so good to have you here. Like you know, this is an event of SP Lagos section, and today we're going to be dealing primarily with our executives as well as active volunteers that we know that would be taking, making the flag of their student chapters fly higher, and talking about the tips to becoming a global award-winning student chapter. So you're all welcome. We're currently live on YouTube as well, so we'll be taking questions after we must have had a session. So I'll give you a brief about how this session is going to go. I would be reading the profile of the speaker to you now, after which I would have the speaker, Kenechukwu, come up and address us for the next 20 minutes or half an hour. At the end of which we'll take questions, we'll drop minds on whatever things, clarifications you need on anything you must have mentioned, and then we would call it a day after that. So I will be sharing my screen now and reading his profile. Once again, you're all welcome. Okay, so our speaker today is Kenechukwu. Kenechukwu is a geoscientist, data scientist, as well as a serial volunteer. He holds a BSc degree in geology from Chukwuemeka Odumegu Ojukwu University, COOU, as well as an MSc in Integrated Petroleum Exploration and Evaluation Studies from the Shell Center of Excellence in Geoscience and Petroleum Engineering of the University of Benin. He has several professional certifications and has published a number of technical papers. In 2014, he joined SPE as a second-year student, and he served the COOU student chapter, first as vice president in 2015, and then subsequently as the president in 2016. He was a recipient of the Outstanding Chapter Award in 2016, and he received this award at the annual Technical Conference and Exhibition of SPEI in Dubai in UAE that year. Now, upon graduation, he joined the Young Professionals of Port Harcourt section, also in Nigeria, and volunteered actively as an ambassadorial lecturer before he moved down to the Lagos section, which is the host of today's event, to act in similar capacities. From 2018 up until now, Kenechukwu has volunteered for SPE International as a student's annual awards judge. He has 2 years of experience in that capacity, and is also a part of the mobile app advisory group for the global body of SPE. Here today, he would be taking us on the tips to becoming a global award-winning student chapter of the Society of Petroleum Engineers. Please make welcome for me, Kenechukwu. Kenechukwu, you have the floor now. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maricon, for the introduction. I really appreciate it. So good afternoon, everyone. Maricon, am I clear? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. I would let you know if at any point in time there is any echo.
Okay. You can see
Yes,
my
and we can see your screen, yes.
Okay. So my name is Kenechukwu Ezebialo. Thank you to SPE Lagos section for this opportunity to share with us what I've gathered over the years in terms of experience, in terms of how to help our section achieve greater results in terms of student chapter recognition globally. And I will be looking at it from the point of view of it's just generally going to be a story. I'm going to be looking at it from the tips you can use or the tips requisite for you to use to actually do this, they get recognized. Because as a judge, I've had an experience as a student member, and I've also had an experience as a judge. So I've seen it from both sides of the equation. So for me, it is just to help us see how we can improve productivity for the student chapters in Lagos. So by way of outline, I will go from introduction, where we'll talk about what these things are, and then we'll discuss the vision and mission of SP, and then talk about these chapter awards, what really they are, and who should be awarded, and then look at what we have as chapter officers. Eventually, we'll get down to the award-winning report writing strategies. This is important because if you were able to organize wonderful programs for your chapter, you created a lot of value. If you are not able to communicate to your report that normally you will submit by April 1, if you're not able to convince the judges through your writing, then because you know that the judges didn't come to your school to actually see firsthand what you did, so you need to actually be able to. So for me, that's very important. And then all these down to award-winning writing, the report writing, are really down to award-winning report writing are really the things you need to do. And then I will share my story of how I did all these things, and then look at what plans are for you, how you want to achieve it. So by way of introduction, the Student Chapter Awards basically recognize chapters that have succeeded in helping SPE fulfill its mission by serving local members. Local members, that's your student members down there in your chapter, right? So basically the awards honor exemplary efforts in industry engagement. We'll throw a lot of light on this as we go into the presentation, operations and planning, and a whole lot of other things. So going forward, we need to look at, because what SP is going to award you for, or reward you for, sorry, is basically helping SPE achieve its mission. So by saying that, then we need to understand what the vision of SPE is. And basically, it is just to advance the oil and gas community's ability to meet the world's energy demands in a safe, economical, environmentally responsible, and sustainable manner. So with this in mind, how is SPE trying to do this to help us? To look at then that takes us to this is to collect and exchange technical knowledge concerning exploration, development, production technologies for the public benefit, and again to provide opportunities for professionals to basically educate themselves and enhance their technical competence. So having chapter awards, really, there are basically two awards that SPE gives to student members. The first student chapter, sorry. The first will be the Presidential Award for Outstanding Student Chapter. Is an honor given to the first top 5% of SPE members, SPE chapters globally. It recognizes your ability to, in terms of meeting the award, is given to winning chapters at the students technical at the annual technical and annual technical conference and exhibition that SPI hold every year. And then again, the next one will be the Students Chapter Excellence Award. It is the second highest student chapter award that student chapters can receive. It recognizes the next 20%, that's after the first 5% that gets the Outstanding Chapter Award. The next 20% are eligible for this award. And for this particular ATCE, you get emailed, your chapter will be emailed a certificate of a kind of a certificate to celebrate what you've done. So going forward, what really what chapter officers look like, I'm discussing your chapter needs to be compliant. Your chapter needs to, if you don't have your chapter officers uploaded on the officer roster in the SP on SP website, your chapter in the first place will not even be up for this contest. So that's why it's important that we discuss this. So basically, if you're looking at the chapter officers, is not exhaustive. The faculty advisor and the HOD are not really core officers. Neither are they voting positions. You understand? But they are required for normal operations of the chapter. Also, all student chapters are required to appoint a minimum of 3. So all these core officers, you have to appoint a minimum of 3 to remain compliant, like I said before. And again, all the officers, like I said before, is going to be uploaded on the officer roster. And then, depending on the way, what peculiarities you have in your chapter, you can also appoint or elect additional positions, as the case may be, as appropriate to your chapter. So going forward to look at what SPE is looking for in terms of how the activities you conduct and how they score in the whole process. You have industry engagement. Industry engagement to be found in those programs that you do in terms of those programs that you do regarding just the ability to help members bridge the gap between the academia and the industry. Take, for instance, there are a couple of industry softwares that basically people use in the industry to solve problems. How much are you able to expose your members to all these things to really understand how to use what they learn in school to solve real life problems for business purposes, right? So that's basically is looking at all those programs you organize to enhance the generally soft skills of your members in terms of maybe presentation skills, communication skills, and a whole lot of them. So that's the more you understand those things, the more you become a professional, right? So it means that what this is telling us that somebody can be technically sound, but not professionally sound. So we look at it that the industry wants people to be technically sound and also be professionals. So they want to look at how you're able to engage your chapter, your members, to be able to see that they get good development in those regards. Then operations and planning, this is also very important. Again, why it's important is that in everything there's always a hierarchy. For instance, you want to send a mail to the section. You don't just send a mail to your section. They want to look at how your communication is. If you send a mail to the section and just communicate the section without passing it through your faculty advisor, it is wrong as far as SP is concerned. So you want to look at your operations, how you plan things, how you strategize for your programs, how you even raise your funds. These things, SPE is interested in understanding how you do that. So it's important to strategize, be intentional in what you do, and know where you're going to. Again, community involvement. We want to let the society, the environment where we find ourselves, understand what SPE and the energy industry really is. And this would be in terms of programs like maybe sanitation, maybe hospital visitations, just a lot of outreaches that you can do, or even going to do some energy for me classes for secondary school and primary school students. You can also do that as a student chapters. So these things help you involve the community, and then let your immediate environment know the oil industry and also know the impact the role SP is playing. And again, the next one will be innovation. How good are you able to change ways of solving the existing problems? How good are you at strategizing and being intentional with your decisions? You look at the problem you want to solve. How are you able to, as a team, the executive, how are you able to idealize, just brainstorm around things and then get solutions that really we are lying outside of your domain, that people were not using in that chapter before then? How much are you able to do that? That's key. For the membership retention and increase, it doesn't have a score, but for me and for the judging processes, it is key, Because if all these things, if I am a member of SPE in your chapter and I have been developed in all these things, then there is likelihood, there's a higher percentage, higher likelihood I'm going to renew my membership. There's a higher likelihood I'm going to talk to people around me, talk to brothers, sisters that are maybe in other schools, that are maybe somewhere else or even in the same school with me to come and join us, right? So this, for me, it's or for the judging process, it's very key. So again, like I said on the outline, you don't want the situation where you write a report, you've done something and you're not able to pass the right information. You might have done a good job, but passing the right information, passing what you've done is also very important. So your report should be able to demonstrate value to members, right? Because that's your direct customer. Your direct customer as a chapter is developing your members. So you need to be able to demonstrate that. And again, demonstrate the advancement of SPE. We already read our vision and mission. Demonstrate how you've helped SPE advance, and again, the oil industry generally. And then you should be able to apply the concept of SMART. SPE should be specific. You should know what you want to write. Don't write, because the person that is going to be reading that your report, he has a lot of other reports to read. So you need to be specific. You need to go straight to the point. You need to not tell plenty stories that don't matter. Be as elaborate as you can and as concise as you can. Then, being measurable, you want what you're writing to be really measurable. What do I mean? You've told from your report, you've made people understand that you have maybe 20 members, that your annual due is maybe 2,000 naira or so, and that your funding comes from so and so place, and you're now going to write a report and you're talking about you're having a project of 1 million naira. How are you going to fund it is not measurable, so it means you're lying somewhere. So again, it should be something attainable at your level as a student chapter. There are limitations you have. So there are the kind of things that we don't expect you to do. There are kind of things that when you begin to talk about, you did this, you did that, for the judges, they feel you are exaggerating things and that's going to hurt you. Then again, it's supposed to be relevant and again, time bound, right? So going further, just basically have discussed what you need to do, how you need to structure your reports. I'll take questions if you have any at the end of the presentation. But going forward, just to try to let you understand how personally I was able to achieve that. This is me and the 2015 SPE International President, Mr. Henderson, me receiving the Outstanding Award in Dubai 2016. How did it all start? It was in 2015 at NICE 2015 when they were doing a chapter contest, and I was the vice president at the time, and hoping to become the president the next year. So my wish was simply that I wanted to be part of those that would compete in the chapter contest, because at the time it was 15 student chapters in Nigeria that would be selected to come do that presentation in Eco Hotels. So as far as I'm concerned, I was just looking at it in terms of that chapter contest. So I mentioned it to a friend sitting by my side, the Madonna president at the time. So all these things got me to really looking at SPE website to really understand what do I need to do to really score. And that took me to understand all these industry engagement, professional trainings, and all that. And so got back to school, we were able to really galvanize with my team, really very supportive team. They were able to come together, sold an idea to them, and we were able to strategize. We were able to strategize, started looking at our peculiar problems in school. We saw that we had a monthly general meeting, and that monthly general meeting will just come and discuss, most times it's just coming to talk of who is owing us and who is not owing us and all that. So, but at that point, we created a technical committee. Like I said in the slide where I was talking about chapter officers. We could appoint officers that are peculiar to us. We created a technical committee such that our monthly meetings now became monthly technical meetings, such that people are now expected to write papers and submit to the technical team. And so every month we had somebody doing a presentation. So doing, People are learning some technical skills, people that are being presented, and the person presenting is also developing himself professionally. And that worked for us. Again, we also looked at we had students that were going to be doing seminar presentations and all that. So we also looked at organizing a mock presentation. The faculty sponsor at the time was a professor, and a number of other faculty members that are SPE members. We gathered them together and under the umbrella of SPE family where love exists. So these professors are normally will be the people judging you on the D-Day. They were now people talking to you in a friendly manner, such that people were able to really get better with the precise the slides, the precise presentation skills, and all that. And that got the chapter, members of the chapter, all A's when the seminar presentation came. So a lot of things happened. We organized a general geologic field trip. We brought in some stratigraphers to take us around the Niger Delta and Anambra Basin. And we also organized, with the help of the section, we also organized a rig visit that really helped us. We also created a petrol training. A lot of things we kind of did, and we every month we took it upon ourselves to be doing university-wide cleanup. We are talking to, also going around, going to hospitals, going to motherless babies' homes, to really, what we're going to give might not really be much, but what we're going to give, the love we extended was fine. And how did we ensure that the chapter officers that were doing all these things, how did we ensure that they were fine, they were encouraged? We didn't have money to give them, but what we were doing was that any chapter member, any officer or any member of the chapter that had done something for the chapter, what me as the president will do is to quickly send a mail to the person, appreciating him or her, and then copy my faculty advisor and copy the students affairs chair of the section. And so people really saw it as something they needed to just enjoy. They saw it as their own and were able to pull through. And eventually, I still remember that morning when the faculty sponsor called early on in a Saturday morning and said, "Kenechukwu, have you checked your mail?" I said, "No, sir." And he said, "Did you dream last night?" I said, "No, I didn't dream, sir." It was not like that. I told you to stop reading too much. Assuming you slept at all last night, you would have seen what is happening. I said, "Sir, what's it?" He said that Kenechukwu, you have won for Anambra State University the Outstanding Chapter Award and then qualified to go to the White House. I put my phone away. So come on, in all these things, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be challenging, but come on, the reward is always worth it. So going forward, that's the guy at the extreme left was John, the UI president at the time. He also won that award. The next person will be our former council chair, Engineer Debo. Then the other person, the next person will now be our own BE Lagos section, and then myself, and then Harrison from University of Benin. And then that's me and the 2016 SPE International President Nathan Meehan, and this is an Igbinedion University guy that came into Dubai for Petrobras. So that's really how my story went. I've told you what you need to do. I've told you how I did it. And now it's time for you to look at, what do you want? How do you want to do it? The story is going to be difficult, like I said. All you need to do is to have a goal, know what you want to achieve, devise means of achieving them, and do a QC of yourself, of your strategies, maybe weekly, maybe monthly, whichever that works for you. But the basic thing is that goal should remain the same, but the plan can continuously be altered as you go ahead, right? As you continue to alter them as you go ahead, it's going to be difficult, it's going to be challenging. Your academics are already very challenging. So believe me, for you to bring in this is going to also be challenging. But the important thing I want to leave with you is that it is difficult, but really the reward is worth the effort. Right? The exposure, the recognitions, what it even does to your CV, believe me, it is second to none. That's going forward. You can find out more about all these awards from the chapters website of the SPE, and you can also send a mail to SPE, and that will be my profile, my LinkedIn profile, and my email address in case you want to contact me. And then, thank you for listening. Thank you for the opportunity to share. I'll take questions and comments now.
Wow, thank you very much for such a thorough session, Kenechukwu. I must say that I mean, when I was a student, when I was a student myself, I was an executive of SP, though I was not a president. But a whole lot of things you said, I think if I was able to go back in time, are things I would want to implement and things I would want to learn about because I think a number of executives or student chapter officials very many times would not exactly know what it entails to have the award. I can say this clearly that I did not, I knew there was such an award, but I wasn't quite sure what exactly were considered in picking up the award. So I would like to ask if we have any questions that anybody wants to ask in person. I'll take a minute to look around. Anybody wants to ask any question? Faria?
I am with you.
Yeah, I said, do you have any questions? President Paul, President Shegun, President Tosin. President Tosin. I know we have Tosin from Unilag and then we have Tosin from Covenant. So do you have any questions you want to ask him or you are still thinking about it? Hello, Tosin, can you hear me? I can't hear you.
I think she's muted.
Okay.
Can
Tosin,
you hear
you're
me?
muted. Okay, you're back now. Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes. So
Yes, Tosin.
so much, Mr. Kenneth, for to ask very specifically as I do not have I have for about my child. Is it that
Hello,
focus on if they are
Tosin,
going?
your audio is really kind of bad. Can you try to?
Hello, Tosin. Hello, Tosin, if you can hear us, the audio is breaking up, so it's difficult to make out what you're saying.
Maybe I'll send chat.
Tosin, your audio is breaking up, so it's difficult to make out what you're saying. Is it possible that you maybe type your question in the chat box and then I'll read it out to him? Okay, please, because we're really trying so hard to make out what you're saying. So, awesome. Kenechukwu, just so before we have other questions from our president and other executives in this meeting, I would like to know when you showed the chart of the distribution and the percentage of the different considerations for you to, in quote, award winning chapters as you've been a judge and you have experience for about 2 years now. Why you said member retention and increase is important, but there was nothing associated with that. You mentioned something along that line, but why is there no percentage attached to that? Is it just something SPAI has as default and it cannot be adjusted, or is there a bracket for that?
I really don't know what SP considered when they were putting on that, but I just told you that from my understanding, that I feel that if all these other ones are good, then the way it is on the template today is that there is no mark associated to it.
Okay, because I think you just mentioned the reason why I raised that question. It's because if you are able to do all these other things, the results that you would want to see is that there will be result as regards your member retention as well as increase. So that's why I just wanted to have you revisit that again and then talk about it. So one other question I would have, okay, I think I'll take a question from the chat box now. Okay, I think Tosin is still coming up with a question. But during the time while a question will come in fully into the chat box, I want you to speak a little bit about the genuineness of the activities of student chapters as it relates to their president. It's always known that the president is always the driving force in any student chapter, but then it's always good to have strong executives. And you made mention of the fact that it's important to have a good team. The good team provides you backing, and like you said, you got an idea at an event in Lagos, you took it back to your school, you sold an idea, your team bought it, and everybody got on board to work towards a common goal. So I would want to ask this. Do you think, for one thing, having the award at the back of your mind is worth it? I mean, let me rephrase that question. Do you think the award should be your goal? Or if you're trying to do something better, chapter wise, and then for your community as large, as you said you did in your school, do you think all of these other things the award might now maybe be an added benefit or a recognition based on everything you set out to do genuinely?
Yes, thank you for that question, Michael. What I think basically is that looking at whatever you do, you get better at. You become a better person doing things, right? So,
okay,
by the time you're able to really lead students in terms of developing situations, and you served in this office, it resulted to this, you got things better. Believe me, getting that society better, you've indirectly gotten yourself better, whether the award comes or it doesn't come. So it's first thing first, your personal development. If you've been able to lead students to achieve a particular thing, believe me, you could, even if you didn't get the award, that could be just a little thing you were able to deliver to the value you were able to deliver to the student. Might be a game changer when you go for a job interview someday. Because they will ask you, what position have you seen yourself leading and what change did you bring and all that, right? So for me, it's a general in developing yourself. Then as you're doing that, awards will come. When the award come, actually, it came for the whole chapter, but it was only the president that traveled actually. But the important one thing I want to also say here is that everybody felt they were doing their own thing. They bought into the idea, saw it that they were also going to get better doing it, and we had situations that we appreciated people as much as we could.
Awesome. 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 Thank you for lending your voice to that, Kenechukwu. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Because I have always I wasn't president myself, but I know quite a lot of presidents, and it's just, it could be narrative that people begin to talk much more about their world and lose sight of what it really is as regards the genuineness of your heart and wanting to make your community better. But then if in the long run, that genuineness pays off, because like you said, I mean, you could reap the benefit in more ways than one beyond just a global recognition on SP high level.
Sorry. Remember when I was telling you, I didn't really have the outstanding chapter award in mind, right?
Okay.
What we just wanted was that prior to that 2016, my chapter basically was never qualified to present in the chapter contest in NICE. So for me, I felt it was a birthright of the UNILAT, the UI, no disrespect to them anyway, no disrespect to my school as well, So it was just what it was. So I felt I could come from the flanks and get into this, that as far as I was concerned, that it really develops me personally. If I'm able to stand in front of everybody in a hotel and do that presentation and compete and maybe even win, that it develops my confidence, at least remove some nervousness when I face people.
Okay. Kenechukwu, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Can't you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now, because in a way you actually spoke to the next question I have, But since you've spoken about it already, I think I'll just make mention of it before I take Joseph's question. Because I want to ask you, SPE existed in Anambra State University. Anambra State University is currently called Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University, COE right now. Before your tenure in 2016, and you were vice president in 2015, which means you were vice president to a president. Interesting. So you are the president. But what do you mean when you say you were not qualified to speak at NAIS, to present at NAIS? Is it that you guys were not doing enough to be recognized? Or what did it mean that you, because the question was going to be, how did your predecessors maybe set the pace for you? President Paul is here, maybe of UI, and then OAU as well. Can they claim the fact that they've been recognized globally? Covenant was also recognized globally this year. SPE FUTA is a new chapter. But then it's all just always been, there's been an handshake between one tenure and then another, and then maybe the other tenure can build on the successes of past tenure. So I want you to speak to that fact of you were not able to present at NAIS. Why was that? Is it because you were not doing enough? And then it means then that if that is the case, it means that there was a very huge gap between what was done before your tenure and what you did during your tenure. So can you just speak to that, please?
In all fairness, my predecessors were really wonderful guys. Why we were not speaking or we didn't speak at NAIS that year, I would like to accept responsibility that other schools at the time did, not like we didn't do well. Other schools at the time did better, so, and the whole student chapters in Nigeria would not come up to come and do the chapter contest because there are a lot of them. So it will keep everybody in the room all day, right? So the council council students affairs team devised a means, or I really don't know the templates they use in selecting the 15. I really don't know about that. But the thing is that they kept selecting and we're not there. And another thing, the beautiful thing again, is that when I won that outstanding chapter award, right, I still didn't present at the chapter contest because I still was not qualified according to the Nigerian standard to present. He brought up an issue, but come on, eventually it was resolved, and I can't understand.
Okay, but do you know what it means that you were not qualified? Or was it something you just took based on the fact that you were told you were not qualified? Or what does it mean that you were not qualified? I thought it was maybe because you did not do enough. That's
what I don't know. That's why I said I really don't know. I really don't know the yardstick with which they judge. Me, I thought it was annual reports that we submit. And come on, you know that these things are judged by different people.
Yeah.
Right? So Nigerian Council will not give the annual report to just one person to decide. So it's really for a lot of people across the board, and they really do these things, right? And then come up with the 15 that will do that contest. Right? But the story wasn't the same when we did with the report with the judging for the outstanding chapter. I don't know if you understand. So I wouldn't say my predecessors were not doing right. The only thing I felt at the time these things happened was that we were not doing, other chapters were doing better than us. So what we needed to do was to up our games and do something for ourselves.
Wow, great. Kenechukwu, thank you very much for that. But then I think ultimately you were recognized for your efforts by the international body, and I think that speaks volume. The question that we have from the chat box, Tosin asks this question for you. Currently on our screen, you're showing the activities and the scoring criteria. How much percent is associated to each of the different sections that you're considering? We have 5 of them. She's asking, which area do you think is the key area or scoring criteria that every chapter should focus on? Which area is the key area of the scoring criteria? I mean, you've listed 5. So which area do you think is the key area that every chapter should focus on? I would like to hear you speak to her on this.
Yeah, if you look at it, you see that the ones that have the highest score for me would be if I score 30 over 30 and 30 over 30 in operation, 30 over 30 industrial engagement, and then that in operations and planning, I already have 60% in the bag. So but for me, that's when you're looking for area of concentration, but I don't think there's really area of concentration. Everything they are all inclusive. You understand? All these are just subsets of the general thing. So I feel the general thing is because in all these things, you as the president, you oversee things, you work with every member of the executive, but if almost every of these things have got a one or two officers that are directly responsible for things like this.
Okay. Okay, let's go.
So I have a question.
I hope that answers Tosin's question.
Hello, Tosin. Tosin is still here with us. I think she can speak to that. Okay. Okay. So, but then we have another question. Who is expressing consent to ask the question? So yes, Kenechukwu, Tosin said you've answered that question. But then she has another question she's coming up with. But someone has another question. Who was about to speak?
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Who is that? Tosin. Okay, Tosin.
Tosin, yes. Professor
Yes, Tosin, please go ahead.
Yes, so I realized, I noticed, I saw somewhere, I guess it was in the report itself, that most times that the first part of the report that is judged is the executive summary. And once that is not good, you're never going to check the other parts of your report. So my question is, what exactly are we supposed to, like, how can we make our executive summary the best that we can have? What are the things that you're expecting to be in the executive summary? Because it could be really sad if the other parts of the report may have been written very nicely, but because your executive summary is not good, the other parts will not be even read at all.
Okay, thank you, Tosin. Nice question. Like you mentioned, the judging, the process of the judging is basically in stages, in phases. So the first stage, there are some aspects of your report the judges will have access to, and over time, after that, depending on how they score you and all that, they proceed to the next. So, but what you must have to understand is that the executive summary is just basically trying to sell yourself. Like if you understand what is statement of purpose, you're just trying to talk about the questions basically you should answer will be what did you set out to achieve? And how did these things you set out to achieve, how are they going to impact your members, your immediate environment? And then you go further to say how you achieved those things, how you did those things, and what the outcome became. Just all encompassing, right? Your goal for the year, how you plan to achieve those goals, how you achieved it, to what percentage you think you achieved it, and on all these things, sincerity matters. To what percentage you think you achieved it, and then if the results you got were. Right? For me, that's just this. If you're able to capture this as much as possible and also be detailed as much as possible.
Okay. Thank you, Kenechukwu.
Answers it. Tosin, did I do justice to that?
Yes, you did. But I have another question.
So, okay. Tosin, okay, go ahead.
Yes, so lastly, what role does social media accounts play into these gradings? Do they consider them at all, or it's just part of our...
Yeah, it's really considered because not just your social media accounts, a number of your programs you've uploaded to upload pictures of a number of the programs, right? So your social media accounts also work to really check the reality, the how sincere or whatever. So it's expected that when you do things, when you're planning a program, or when you're doing a program, that you put social media posts and all that to that effect, especially LinkedIn, right? And when you do that, you'll be able to tag people that really matter, and those people will be your section, your sponsoring section, and maybe SPEI. Use things like SPE. There's a lot of hashtags that SPE have that also can help you get some boost.
Thank you for your response, Kenechukwu. Tosin, I believe that answers your question. Kenechukwu, still on what you're speaking about, something you have said before now, but Tosin would also like to know that what would you say makes a report exemplary? What's the one thing you say in a report, this makes a report exemplary and stand out?
Yeah, first it should be concise, because and again it should be concise, and again we go English. I encounter reports where somebody is using very wrong English to write stuff. I agree that a number of chapters around the world, their primary language is not English. I understand that. But come on, when you're reading a report that you're not really enjoying as a person, it's really not very wonderful. So I will expect you to use simple, coherent English. Very simple. Don't use the big grammar. Don't use the type of words that the judge will have to go look for a dictionary to understand. So for me, you need to pay attention. Remember, I said demonstrate value to members. If you remember when we discussed the award really is rewarding. It's basically rewarding chapters for helping SPE succeed in its vision. Right? So strategize your report such that the members get value for the programs you've offered. Also, you've been able to enhance or publicize the industry and SPE to your immediate community and make them see the impact you're having on the society, and just create a good impact in your immediate environment. And then again, remember the smart concept I discussed. All these things will really make your work concise but elaborate. And the reader reads and is enjoying himself and is giving you scores.
Well, that's thank you for your answer. I think I would like you to speak to this before Farah comes up. Farah has a question for you as well. But this is something you have just touched about exemplary reports that Tosin mentioned. But I want you to speak to this as regards the fact that what's already on our slide is about content, industry engagement. You want to look at the operations and planning. And already, even about community involvement, I'm already seeing 75% that's strictly content. Even professional development, how you develop your point and all of that, and then how it relates to, I think what this means, like you must have mentioned, is how it relates to the industry and the business of say petroleum engineers to develop people professionally. You say you have technical presentations during your sessions, and then innovation as well. All of this largely seems to be about content, the kind and the quality of the program you churned out. But you are talking about exemplary report and being concise. I want you to also say something about the fact that it's impossible you have a very, very good program. I mean, you've done a whole lot. You've reached out to community, you've engaged industrially, you have involved, you have been innovative, and you do not write your report in such a way that it gets you that attention you really deserve. Do you think there could be such a problem? That it's one thing to have the activities to have done them, it's another thing to write your report very well. I want you to speak to the report writing itself. Is it possible to miss out on the recognition based on how you present your reports?
Yes, very, very possible, because like I explained initially, the judges, the people that are going to look at these, your reports, they are not in your chapter to really see how things are going, right? Or how things have gone through the year. So it's actually what your ability to sell the message to them, the ability to basically writing skills, which are part of the professional development that we're talking about, right? So for me, yes, it is possible you have wonderful programs, or your year you've done fantastic, but you were not able to package a report that will convince the judges to really give you high scores. Right? I don't know if that's clear, no?
Yes. Before we do wrap up for this today, because our time is spent, and this is from Farah. Farah, I would like to know about, you said it's a team job. It's something where you have to do with other persons. You have a team. Kenchuka, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Yes, you have a team. You showed us a slide that was entirely dedicated to chapter officials and different offices. But then she wants to know what do you do when you don't have cooperative student chapter officers, and what steps do you think you can take to still move the chapter forward? Yes, it's not something that an individual can do alone, but she's, according to her, what do you do to sell that idea? You say you spoke, your team bought in, but at times it might just be beyond a one-time conversation. So they could want the title, they want to be recognized, but they don't want to put in the work to get the title, the work to reach out, the work to engage industrially, to possible to develop professionally, to innovate, and to move the chapter forward. So what can you do in such a way where you have a team that has a disconnect and is not entirely cooperative with your plans to move the chapter forward?
Thank you so much for that question. For me, leadership is as important as followership. So people need to get along with you for them to follow you, right? So if you look at it in terms of you are the president, and as the president, you want to find out, you have a vision, how you want to do things, how you want things to be done. It's for you to really sit down. Everybody can be influenced, but for you to influence someone, you need to really understand them. You need to really put yourself in their shoes. So what I mean here is that you sell a story, package your ideas such that these people buy into it, and you let them understand what is in it for them. What will I gain? What would be my benefit if I have to go through these processes with you? And again, you also be ready to be in the forefront, to work. You don't wait for members to come to meeting to clean up the meeting environment. Possibly you want to, as you feel you're the president and you are the biggest authority. No, it doesn't work that way. You all remember as students in the first place, right? So if you guys are all students, then in the eyes of that school and those students there, all of you guys are equal. So I feel to create an impact or to influence them, all you need to do is to start the job yourself. Start the process. Believe me, people will buy. Like I said, create an avenue where you appreciate people with even as little as a mail. When people feel appreciated that way, I think that normally they would, and again, they see what is in it for them. I think they will really budge.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. That was thorough, and I think it was a very good way to wrap up the questions that we have here today. Just so we have this, can you just maybe on the screen right now show it, or the slide about your LinkedIn URL, so that people can know what exactly to search for on LinkedIn, because we have a YouTube audience wants to see your LinkedIn URL again. Yes. And then maybe anyone wants to reach for further correspondence, they can easily accessible on LinkedIn or via his Gmail address. So, Kenechukwu, thank you very much. There is nothing more than knowing that this is a team job. This is something everybody does together. We have here present today, we have presidents across 6 universities under the SPE Lagos section, and we are very honored that you have been able to take us through this today. All in all, we want the betterment of our student chapters. We want people who are contributing to society, who are helping to build themselves, build others alongside, all in all, preparing us for the very best that we can get from ourselves. I want to say a very big thank you. I appreciate you on behalf of the SPE Lagos section for taking time out. That would be all of the questions that we have. So I want to also thank all of our presidents who have worked tirelessly for the past year. And just so we know, Kenechukwu, when is the award year for SPE ends every year? So that some presidents can know this year. Like I said, we also have a new student chapter still under a year, SPE Futa.
One is that thank you so much for that. One is that your chapter roster should be updated at least 31st December for the next award, for the next set of awards. Your chapter roster should be at least updated by 31st December 2020, right? And you should be able to submit your report by 1st of April.
Please come again with that. I did not catch that. You should be able to submit your report by what time?
Your report by 1st of April. 1st April.
1st of April. So so this current window, let's say we have I think it's good to say we have less than 5 months before this current administration submits their report for the next consideration of awards.
For me, I'm looking at the sustainability of this, because we've done it on YouTube and all that. I felt more people could have joined, just people that are not just the executive members, even people in year one that are members of SPE Common, because if they really get to buy these ideas early in life while in school, I think it's going to make the section a lot better in the long run.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you for also lending your voice to that. We're hoping that people will consult this resource. It's just it's under an hour, and then they can easily lay hold on it, and those just work through the tips you have shared and just get better as a chapter, as a person, and then as a team, as a chapter. So thank you very much, Kenechukwu. That would be all for this session. Presidents, we would be in touch. We have a couple of other things we would like to discuss with you after now from the SPE Lagos section. Kenechukwu, thank you very much. That brings us to the end of this session. Do enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and stay safe and do take care.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah.
You're welcome, Mr. President. As President Tokwe, you're welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity.